We've already done a video going over the different editions of Dead Island 2, and in this video we'll be going over a similar kind of thing, but instead we'll be looking at the cheapest way to get Dead Island 2. We'll look at the cheapest way to get the game on every single platform, and we'll also look at the cheapest way to get the game in general, no matter the platform, just the cheapest way to play Dead Island 2 when it does release. This will be obviously for pre-ordering the game, but it will still apply when the game does release as well. So yeah, let's get into the video and let's waste no more time. Let's get into the way to, save some of your money when you go ahead and purchase Dead Island 2. Let's get into it. So here we are, and these are all of the different ways you can purchase Dead Island 2. Quite a few tabs here, and we're going to go through all of these. Don't worry, this won't take too long at all. But either way, here we have the Epic Game Store. Now the Epic Game Store is where you purchase Dead Island 2 on PC. Unfortunately, this is the only place you can purchase Dead Island 2 on PC. You won't be able to get this over on Steam. Pretty disappointing there for people that aren't a fan of Epic Games Launcher. Personally, I much prefer Steam, but unfortunately, yeah, that's not an option at the moment. Maybe later down the line, but either way, at launch, the only way to get it on PC is through Epic Games. And here we do have the different editions. Now, to get the base game on the Epic Games Store will set you back £55. This is just for the base game of Dead Island 2. You'll get the pre-order bonus, which is the Memories of Banoi pack, but this is just for the base game. So yeah, £55 is what it will cost if you get it on the Epic Games Launcher. Not actually, though, the cheapest way to get the game on PC. Then you've got the Deluxe Edition for £60, and then you have the Gold Edition for £75. But if you know websites such as CD Keys or G2A, these are actually ways to get the game for slightly cheaper. Right now, on CD Keys, as an example, the standard edition of the game for the Epic Games Launcher, basically this will give you a code, very reliable, great reviews on Trustpilot, etc. I use it all the time, it's great. Used it for games like Hogwarts Legacy and it works well. But yeah, for £49 you can get the, well, $49.69, you can get Dead Island 2 on the PC for Epic Games, which is slightly cheaper, just slightly cheaper than getting it on the Epic Games Store. Of course, if you don't want to take any risks and you just want to purchase it on the actual launcher, then this is the cheapest way to do so on PC. But if you want to get the absolute cheapest, then it is best to do it on a website such as CD Keys or G2A. Those are great options and they work well. You can get the Deluxe Edition on CD Keys for £55, slightly less actually than getting the Standard Edition. Pretty interesting there. And then you can get the Gold Edition for £65, which is significantly less than getting it on the Epic Games Launcher. Options there. Right now they're out of stock, but it's because they haven't released yet. I had this with Hogwarts Legacy. Eventually they did come in stock. And now we have moved on to PlayStation. Now on the PlayStation side of things, of course the game is available on PlayStation 5 and it's also available on PlayStation 4. So on the PlayStation Store itself, which is obviously the only way to purchase the game if you have a digital console, the digital PlayStation 5, it will set you back £60, just £5 more than getting it on PC. Now, not too bad, it could be 70, so we're pretty lucky there. So yeah, if you have the digital PlayStation 5, this is the only way to get Dead Island 2 on PlayStation, so this is the only option, and it is the cheapest option. Then there is the Deluxe Edition for £65, then there is the Gold Edition for £80. All are slightly more than getting them on PC. As you can see, the Gold Edition here, they're all just £5 more than what they are over on console. I mean, sorry, they're £5 more on console than they are on PC. And yeah, so here we have that, and obviously, yeah, if you've got the digital PlayStation 5, this is the only option. Not too bad, obviously, £60 for the base game isn't awful, so that is the cheapest option if you have the digital one. However, things can change. These are actually the Hella editions. Now, I just want to quickly walk through these. For £85, you can get these. If you want to get the physical collector's edition of the game, this is the cheapest way to do so over on Amazon. £85 for both PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. But if you want the cheapest possible way of getting Dead Island 2 on PlayStation, then you have to have a console with a disc drive, whether that's a PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 5 with a disc drive, and this is getting the Day 1 edition on Amazon. As you can see, this is actually $49.99. Now it is discounted, but I have never seen this at its normal price. I've always seen this at $49.99. Pretty interesting there. And that is the same for both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. That is the cheapest way to get the game if you are on a PlayStation, $49.99. It is, yeah, 17% discounted, but obviously I haven't seen that at its normal price before, so I would say if you can, get this Day 1 edition of the game, and you can get it, yeah, you can get a pretty cool discount there, and that is the cheapest option for getting the game on PlayStation. Not quite as cheap as CD Keys, obviously, But if you want to, yes, from an actual retailer, well, CD Keys is an actual retailer, but you know what I mean, the physical version of the game, pretty interesting there in my opinion, that you can actually get the physical copy for cheaper than the digital copy. Some would argue that, you know, the physical copy should be more expensive since you're actually getting some physical items with it. You're getting the disc and the case, and this is the day one edition as well. You'd argue that day one edition, for that tag that it has of being a day one edition, would be more than getting the standard edition over on the console store, but it's actually cheaper. So if you've got a console with a disc drive, I would say why not utilize this, save yourself £10 and get the cheaper version for PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. Then of course there's the Hella edition for £85 if you want to go all out with the collectibles, but yeah, standard edition is available there. Now the other versions of the game you can't actually get physically, unfortunately. Say you want the deluxe edition or the gold edition, you do have to get those on the store. However, the Hella edition does include the gold edition of the game, so arguably, yeah, that's a way to get the gold edition, and this comes in at just, I believe, £5 more than getting the gold edition on the store. So you get the expansion pass and everything like that. So yeah, all those are the options for PlayStation, with the cheapest being it to get it on Amazon for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, unless of course you have the disc drive. So now we have Xbox, and these are the same prices as over on the PlayStation Store. £60 for the standard edition, £65 for the deluxe edition, and also £80 for the gold edition. And this applies to both Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S, just like it does here. These are cross-gen versions. So you purchase the standard edition, you get both the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 versions of the game. Same goes for deluxe and gold editions, and the same over on Xbox. You get the standard edition, you'll get the Xbox One version and the Xbox Series X and S version. And of course, if you pre-order, yeah, you'll get that Weapons of Banoi pack, the pre-order bonus. So these are the options here. Yeah, £50, £65 and £80 depending on the edition that you want. So if you have the Xbox Series S or the all-digital Xbox One, then your only option is to get it on the store, with the cheapest being the obviously the standard edition for £60. And then of course you do have the option of these two, but these aren't the cheapest options. So if you're looking for the cheapest and you have one of the Xboxes without a disc drive, then yeah, your cheapest option here is to get the standard version of the game for £60 on the store. But let's say that obviously you do want to get the collector's edition, then you can get that here, and that's £85. This applies to both, interestingly. So there is only one version of the Xbox One, and that will be applied to both consoles, whereas for PlayStation they're separate. But yeah, if you want to get the collector's edition, which will include the gold edition of the game, then for £85, the same price as the PlayStation consoles, you can get that. You'll be able to get the Hella edition. This will include the gold edition of the game, like I mentioned, and yeah, so pretty cool there. You can get the collector's edition of the game for £85. So the cheapest edition of the game will require you to have a Xbox Series X or one of the Xbox Ones with a disc drive, such as the standard Xbox One, the Xbox One S, or the Xbox One X. Those all have a disc drive, so you can get it on Amazon for £55. Unfortunately, it's £5 more than the disc version of the day one edition for PlayStation. As you can see here, this does cost $49.99. Unfortunately, over on Xbox, it's $54.99. Maybe because you're getting both versions in one, I'm not too sure. It's possible that if you, for example, purchase the PlayStation 4 disc version, you won't get the PlayStation 5 version included with that. That's why they're a little bit cheaper. That could be the reason, but these are actually merged into one. As you can see here, PlayStation 4 and 5 are two separate ones, so maybe, yeah, like I mentioned, you get the PlayStation 5 version, you won't get that PS4 version. I don't think that'll be the case on the store. I think, yeah, no matter what version you get, you'll get both generational versions, but maybe it isn't the case with the disc. I know with games such as the GTA trilogy, there is a PS4 disc version, you get that, and you don't get the PS5 version of the game, whereas if you get the PS5 version on the store, you're getting both editions. Something interesting there, so maybe that's the case, and that's why it's slightly cheaper. But yeah, £55 is the cheapest way to get Dead Island 2 over on Xbox. So yeah, if you do have a console with a disc drive, why not utilize this? Why not get the day one edition on Amazon for slightly cheaper than getting it over on the store? I see no reason not to be honest, unless you really hate inserting discs into a console, you find it's just a bit of a faff, then obviously get it on the store, since you're not saving, you know, you're saving £10 though, which is quite substantial. But either way, obviously, if you really want it on the store, then go ahead and do that. In some cases, you'll have to if you don't have a disc drive. But yeah, so on the Xbox, the cheapest option for both Series X and the Xbox One is to get the day one edition of the game, the disc version, for £55. So now let's look at the absolute cheapest option, and the absolute cheapest option is, well, CD keys when it's in stock. To get it on a key website is always going to be the cheapest option, really. This is going to be slightly cheaper though, just slightly cheaper than getting it on PlayStation. This is your cheapest option, and that is for PC. And then obviously coming in second as the cheapest option is to get the disc version on PlayStation 4 and 5 for $49.99, just about 30p more than getting it on CD keys, and that's still a pretty cheap price. And then in third place is obviously on Xbox, where it's just £5 more than PlayStation, and that is also the disc version. But there you go, it looks like getting it physically is actually the cheaper options, and of course for PC, CD keys, key websites are always going to be the cheaper options. But there you go, that is the cheapest ways to get Dead Island 2, and that is a way to save a bit of money when you are purchasing the game. So that does just about wrap up things here. Now, I have done a video actually where I go over everything we know so far about Dead Island 2, and if you're interested in watching that, then the link to that video is on the screen now, and you can go ahead and join me over there.